How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with new brewery time. I don't think I've done a Bentwater beer yet. I don't think I have. I might have done a Bentwater collab, but I believe this is the first Bentwater beer proper I'm doing, and this is their premium lager. This actually comes from Bentwater. Well, it comes from the marketing company that represents Bentwater. They actually reached out to me probably about a month or so ago. At the time of this filming, we're right around the 21st, 22nd of March, and they said it was actually a really cool thing. They like came in, would you be interested in doing like a Zoom kind of hangout tasting thing with the head brewer from Bentwater? And I said, that sounds pretty cool, actually. You get a lot of douchey kind of promotional stuff from marketing companies about like you must do Instagram stories and you must do this, you must do that. It wasn't like that at all. It was like, hey man, we're gonna be releasing in Jersey. You want to come hang out, chug beers, hang out in a Zoom call with the brewer, and it wasn't just me, it was a bunch of people. And I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do that under one condition. Not condition, but one stipulation, is that I might not be able to come because my wife is going to give birth relatively soon. Well, that thing happened on the day my child gave birth, so I didn't actually get the chance to sit down and drink with the brewer. That would have been fun, get to pick his brain a little bit and stuff like that, but I was like, hey, we'll review the beers nonetheless. So that's where this comes from. This says here on the can, it says Bentwater Brewing Lager is a handcrafted with the finest malted barley and choicest hops. And enjoy responsibly. This is canned January 27th, so just under 2 months old. That'd be that. It's 4.7%, and it's what you'd expect from like classic kind of lager canning. Let's put it that way. So I forgot to bring my lager glass out. So you get this in my big bulbous hazy glass. It's a lager. Lagers don't care what glasses they're in. Would be nice if I could have a little bit of shade so we don't get a little bit of light struckness here. But like I said, I really do dig the can design on that. And as far as the beer goes, we'll put it in the shadow of the can. I mean, it looks the part of lager, but the portion here that you're all looking at going, that doesn't look like a lager, is the haziness. It's an unfiltered lager, a non-dropped out kind of lager. So it's got a big, almost kind of like a pale ale kind of haze to it. Pinky finger, white as white could be had. I mean, it's a pretty beer. It looks like a lager minus that kind of haziness, but you know, for me, kind of unfiltered lager is just as good as filtered lager. So definitely looks the part. Let's see if we can get a nose. I mean, it's really heavily grain driven, like heavily grain driven, like a big wheat characteristic to it. There has to be wheat in this, I would assume. It's a big wheat characteristic, a little bit of kind of lighter kind of pilsnery malt, but with how cloudy this is, I'm assuming there's a wheat, maybe even an oat presence in there. I don't know why they would do that with a lager, but it very much comes off wheat-like. And then there's a little bit of malt sweetness to it. And not much as far as any kind of hops. There's a little bit of lager funk to it. Done and done. Let's dive in. Cheers. That'd be a lager. Yeah, not too shabby. You know, crisp, clean, drinkable. Drinks lighter and crisper than what it actually looks like. It has this nice kind of that wheat characteristic that I was talking about in the actual nose. It comes through in the taste. Not nearly as bold, but it's still very present. Yeah, that's nice. I actually like that big, I'm going to keep calling it a wheat addition because that's the way it comes off for me. That graininess to it. Maybe that's a better way to describe it in case there is no wheat in this. Even though I think there is. I like it because it's a very malt-driven kind of lager. It doesn't get too heavy, which is a cool trick to pull off because usually when you're malt heavy, you're going to be a little bit heavier of a beer, but it has this lightness, this crispness to it. Definitely comes off as a lager. The hops are probably the most disappointing part here. Not that I want a super aggressive hop in a lager, but I would like, with how luscious this is, how a grain forward this is, I would really enjoy just a slight ramping up of that hop to just be in line with the way everything else comes off. So it's snappy and crisp while having a relatively soft mouthfeel. That's, again, another cool trick that's pulled off. That grain going forward, leaning heavily into like a wheat characteristic, I think is pretty cool. There's nothing negative about it as far as off flavors in a tiny beer. Just in the grand scheme of things, I would like just a skosh more hop. But that's me just kind of nitpicking on it. I think it's a very tasty beer. Drinkable, chuggable. Summer beer. Listen, I'm outside. I'm outside. Birds are chirping. Sun is blaring right into my eyeballs. This is a good day. Brought home the sun, little massa bean. Brought it home a couple days ago. It was nice enough today outside where we can go outside and sit outside. Had a couple family members kind of come from a distance. Can see the baby because it's nice out, so that's nice too. And just an overall great day. And I was kind of in the lager mood, so I figured, why not do it? And I am not peeved at my decision on this beer. So, yeah, let's talk about it. It's one of the better lagers I've had as of late. Sure, it's a Mount Rushmore status, no, but tasty nonetheless. I like the twisted pulls of the wheat characteristic, being like the star of the show here. Value and availability, no idea about this beer actually. I think it was brewery only, oddly enough, but I would hope it would come in 4-packs of less than craft lager. I would hope $14 or less, hopefully. I want 10 or less, but it's craft, so chances are it's 14 or less. Might even be up to 16, 17. Some of those breweries do that, and I understand. It takes a lot of tank time to get these out there. So tank time is money for small breweries, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like lager, but you want something a little bit more grain-driven as opposed to super snappy, super crisp, or something that has a little bit more beefier hops, is definitely grain-driven. It's still lager, still drinks nice. It has that cool combination of that crispiness with that softer mouthfeel. It's an odd combination. I know it doesn't make any sense. I understand it's a soft mouthfeel, but it's crisp. It makes sense in my brain. Let's put it that way. But if you really like the grain-driven lagers, this is gonna do you. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massa Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out doing a whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a beautiful day like this with a lager. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.